Hello. Today we're continuing our exploration of Robert Macoy's Knights Templar. Today we're going to part second, the Templar standard from the First Crusade to the Beausant. In section 2, Macoy outlines three claims. First, the preaching that set Europe on fire. Second, the Beausant was more than a flag. And third, the actual organization of the orders. You see, Macoy didn't just want to tell you what the Templars did. He wanted to show you how they were organized. And then there's a bonus part of this video, we'll show you the actual 1873 engravings of these flags used to print this book by Macoy. And that explains the secret Masonic allusions. So let's get started. The first of the three distinguishing claims is the theory of pilgrimage. Macoy argues in chapter 1 and 2 that the Crusaders didn't start with a war, but with a theory of Oriental pilgrimage, which was an instinct of the human heart. He tells how Europe was inspired by Peter the Hermit and Pope Urban II. Peter the Hermit had just returned from the Holy Land, and Macoy says, quote, "He traversed Italy and France. He was everywhere, heard as a messenger from heaven." And the most agonizing descriptions which he gave of the outrages he had seen perpetuated upon the pilgrims. This set the heart of Europe on fire. Pope Urban II kind of took a different turn. He said, "Go then," talking to the knights, "and employ in a nobler warfare that muscle and that restless spirit which you have heretofore used in debasing and exhausting each other." In other words, if you're going to fight somebody, rather than fighting each other, let's go over to the Holy Land. The claim here that Macoy's making is he suggests the desire to visit the Holy Land was an instinct of the human heart that prepared the world for chivalry. His insight is that the seeker path starts with a journey, not a sword. Before they were knights, they were travelers looking for something authentic. The second claim is the Beausant was more than a flag. In chapter 5, Macoy dives into the organization of the Knights Templar and the specific symbolism of their standards. He claims the Beausant, the black and white banner, represented the knights, that the knights were fair and favorable to their friends, but black and terrible to their enemies. Well, that's a 19th century way of saying, approach life's journey as a pilgrim, avoiding conflict, but don't sacrifice your moral principles. Be armed to stand up for them, not with a sword, but with the patience and fortitude to see them play out. Macoy also highlights that the Templars were the bulwarks of the kingdom. This wasn't just a club. It was a highly organized military machine with monastic discipline that blended the sword and the lance. Third, the division of light, the Templars versus the Hospitallers. Macoy makes a unique editorial choice in chapters 5 and 6 to show the organization of both the Templars and the Knights of St. John, the Hospitallers, side by side. The claim, he rejects the jealousy found in other historians that disparage one order to favor the other, claiming their glory shines with undivided light. His insight is Macoy was a unity guy. He wanted American Masons to see the shared intellectual and spiritual DNA between all branches of chivalry. So what are the three actions you can take for your life today? Well, first, Macoy suggests, or we take from this, practice courteous dedication. Macoy dedicates this enlarged edition of this history book to all Christian Masons, striving to honor their profession through social graces. The action. In your business or personal interactions this week, pick one social grace, like active listening or formal courtesy, and treat it as a Masonic duty. The goal is to move from being a military knight to a courtly presence in your community. The second action is define your bulwark. The Templars were the bulwarks of Jerusalem, the wall that didn't break. So your action could be identify the one person or cause in your life that depends on your strength right now. Commit to being their unswerving protector for the next 30 days. The goal is to build the independent spirit of chivalry by being someone others can actually lean on when the storm clouds form. And finally, walk the way of the pilgrim. The action is take a physical pilgrimage this weekend. Go somewhere significant to your history, a family gravesite, an old lodge, or a place of faith. And we might suggest you do it without your phone. The goal is to reconnect with the power of association and the sense of reverence that Macoy says can never, never perish. Well, that's all for today. We appreciate you taking some time with us. And also, we'll have more of these videos, so subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit us at macoy.com, Macoy.com. Thank you.